Hey everyone, William here, and I am back and ready to start talking about American Ninja Warrior Ninja vs. Ninja Qualifying 9. It's been raining a lot outside, and that's totally why I haven't been doing these videos. Not because I felt like I needed to take a mental break or anything like that. So, fortunately for me, Ninja vs. Ninja is taking a break for the second playoff episode, so I got some extra time to get these videos up now. So let's get right into Qualifier 9. So we featured Superhero Squad versus Wisco Warriors. So I think the big thing that's worth mentioning for this episode is that this was the tilting ladders and flying monkey bar combo. And I am going to assume that this was the first episode that they filmed with that combination, because the floating monkey bars were different in this episode. There was only 2 rungs in the cradles as opposed to 4, and we saw a lot of wipeouts. And one thing that's worth mentioning is that the philosophy behind Ninja vs. Ninja, or Team Ninja Warrior in general, is that you want to make the obstacles easy enough so that people can get through, but still be a little bit challenging. And I think after this episode, they felt like that obstacle was a little too challenging, and that's why in the other 2 episodes that featured the floating monkey bars, there were 4 rungs, 1 in each cradle, for those episodes. So, for Superhero Squad, we had the Captain Jamie Rahn versus Wisco Warriors Drew Knapp. Basically, Drew Knapp was able to get a lead on the tilting ladders and was able to get the win. Not by much, but was able to beat him out. Rachael Goldstein for Superhero Squad versus Sara Heesen. Basically, they both went down on the flying monkey bars, but Sara Heesen got there first, so Wisco Warriors go up 2-0. Then for the Superhero Squad, Darling-Hammond versus Andrew Philibeck. So one thing that's weird is that they brought up the fact that Andrew was on Team Ninja Warrior College Madness in this episode, which is weird because they didn't do that for Matisse, even though he was also in College Madness, which it's weird. It's weird. But anyway, Andrew was able to get a slight lead. They were neck and neck up to the warped wall. Darling-Hammond missed the warped wall. Andrew able to get up, finish first. So, in a probably a surprising turn of events, the Wisco Warriors win 3-0. Get the full sweep. Move on to the next round. Then we had Hazard Brigade versus Tryhards. This was a heck of a combination. So first up were the captains, Mike Bernardo for Hazard Brigade and Bryan for the Tryhards. Bryan went out on the floating monkey bars, but Bernardo was able to essentially do the flying bar with the floating monkey bar handles and finished to get to the end, get a point for his team. Real crazy race there. Then they fast forward the women. Basically, Rebekah was able to get further on the course. She failed the floating monkey bars, and Grace for the Hazard Brigade failed the floating tiles, so we're tied 1-1. Then Mike Needham for Hazard Brigade took on Adam Rayl. Rayl went down on the... It says here floating tiles. And... But Mike Needham finished anyway. Hazard Brigade up 2-1. So relay time. Actually, I think Adam Rayl went out on the floating monkey bars. Anyway, so relay time. Basically, the first relay, Grace got a slow start at the beginning of that relay, and Mike, trying to catch up, ended up failing the floating monkey bars. Adam Rayl got the point for his team, so we're all tied up 2-2. And basically, similar situation. Rebekah was still able to get a lead for her team, and trying to catch up. Bernardo failed floating monkey bars, and in the end, Tryhards win it 3-2. So we move on to the final round. Tryhards versus Wisco Warriors. Sean Bryan and Drew Knapp. Before we continue, there is one thing that I just remembered that I wanted to bring up, and that is Akbar talking about the tilting ladders on shorter competitors. I think it was the women on the first matchup. Basically, one of the women were using her legs to get through the tilting ladders, and Akbar was like, "Ooh, I don't like that, Matt." And it's like, I really wish Akbar would kind of cool it down on, I guess, criticizing shorter people when it comes to certain techniques. It's like, not everyone can be like 6 foot tall like you, Akbar, like, calm it down a little bit. Some people, they need to use their legs in order to not fall. Because at the end of the day, you can go fast, but if you fail, it's all for nothing. So, yeah, let's cool a little bit there, Akbar. But final round, Sean Bryan for the Tryhards versus Drew Knapp for the Wisco Warriors. Sean Bryan slipped on the floating monkey bars. This was rough because he failed the very end of the obstacle. He dismounted the end a little too quickly, and he landed and then fell backwards into the water. That counts as failing. So Drew Knapp was able to get past that obstacle and score a point for his team. Then the women, Rebekah Bonilla versus Sara Heesen. Basically, Rebekah went down on the floating monkey bars. So did Sara, trying to catch up. I think this is where basically she fell sternum first on the floating tiles, and was slow to get up and was just unable to finish the floating monkey bars. If she had done so, she would have got a point for her team, but she couldn't. So in the end, Rebekah wins, and we're tied 1-1. Rayl versus Andrew Philibeck. Basically, they both go down on the floating monkey bars. Floating monkey bars being a very, very demanding obstacle. This is why I feel like this was the first one filmed, and they changed it later on. But Rayl got there first, so 2-1, all timed up. And then for a relay, in the end, the Tryhards were able to get a lead thanks to Rebekah, and in the end, despite Andrew Philibeck's best efforts, Rayl finished the course first. So Tryhards win 3-1, and they win the last qualifying episode. So there you have it. Overall, good episode. Some exciting falls. You definitely see what happens when certain obstacles are a little bit tougher compared to other formations. I'm glad that they changed the floating monkey bars for the other two episodes, because it got kind of old seeing so many fails on the floating monkey bars when the point is to try to see people race to the end. I feel like more so than ever, like the whole point of Ninja versus Ninja, or just the team competition in general, is getting to the end. So I'm glad they made the change. I'm not going to do predictions because I already know what happens. But next up, I'm going to be reviewing the first of the two wildcard rounds, and got some things to say and some corrections to make. But until next time, stay golden.